Hey guys, you probably already saw this video because it is a re-upload because one of my little fears was that YouTube would find something wrong with this video, and lo and behold, they did. So I had to take it down and tweak some things and re-upload so that they can allow the video to be monetized and to push through the algorithm. It was being suppressed through the algorithm and it was not monetizable. So if you already saw this video, please thumbs up, leave a comment. Even if you don't have anything to add or to say in the comment section, leave either a heart emoji or an investigative eye, like a magnifying glass emoji in the comment section. And also try to watch the video until the end so that it could push it through the algorithm. Don't just click off, even if you go do some mindless thing, because I have to start from scratch with the views all over again. But yeah, this is what happens sometimes as a content creator. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope you re-enjoy the video and share with someone who hasn't seen it before. Let's just push it through the algorithm. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.
For decades, Anthony Pellicano was the best-known private detective and fixer in Hollywood. His methods were unconventional and, according to the federal government, sometimes illegal. He served a decade and a half in the end in jail, a little more, on wiretapping and racketeering charges. We spoke to him at great length about what he learned in Hollywood and in prison. For a brand new episode of Tucker Carlson Today, here's part of the conversation.
Everything that you could imagine going on went on, you know.
Give us your assessment of Hollywood. You were at the very center of it.
The reason I made so much money is because people got themselves into trouble and they couldn't go to law enforcement. You know, so they would go to their agents, or they would go to their managers or lawyers, and lawyers would hire
So give
me.
us what are you kind of thing you're talking about?
Well, you have the Me Too movement now.
Yeah.
There was no such thing as a Me Too movement then. There were women who would do whatever they could to get, you know, next to a movie star or to make money, especially athletes. You know, and sleep with them, become pregnant so they get an annuity. Try to extort them for large sums of money. You've done something with a woman, your wife doesn't know about it, you're a celebrity, could cost you a lot of money should somebody disclose this, you know, and I'd come in and take care of it.
How would you fix that problem? You've got a professional athlete or an actor, a pregnant woman, not his wife.
You have to give that person who's trying to do those things a reason not to do it. And I gave him that reason. Fix the problem. That's what I did. They call me a fixer. That's what I did.
How hard is it to make that case?
Seeing me, not too hard at all. But, you know, they have to look at you. They have to know that you're serious. You could do this the easy way, or you could do it the hard way. I don't give a which way you choose, because you're going to do what I want you to do at the end of the day.
How forcefully did you have to make that case, or did people believe you?
Well, sometimes very forceful. A lot of times people would go run to other people to try to intercede, you know, and then I have to face those people too. I always started out as a gentleman. Always. I always tried to reason with people. I didn't get to the point where I had to use other means unless reasoning didn't work.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the glittering world of Hollywood, where fame and fortune comes with a hefty price. Behind every glamorous facade lies a dark underbelly. And in this shadowy realm operate the unsung heroes, or perhaps the villains, the Hollywood fixers. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Hollywood fixers, the silent guardians of scandal. Who are they? What do they do? And do they still exist today? Would you be able to spot a fixer? But before we get into that first, hey friend, welcome to my channel, Karina Lude, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars through history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so. And if you're already subscribed, please turn on your notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, without further ado, let's get into this video. So this is a new series I'm starting on this channel where we break down secrets in Hollywood, a little secrets. I have a couple interesting episodes coming up for you guys, but today we are dissecting Hollywood fixers. Who are they, right? If you've ever seen a party, a glamorous party in Hollywood, like you see the Diddy-esque parties, a lot has been going on with Diddy in the industry, the Hugh Hefner parties, or these parties that Hollywood have that are glamorous and full of activity. There's always people in the crowd that seems to be watching and fixing everything, right? And these parties, the star is there, but they're always never too far from the star. They're never too far from the star. They're watching everything. They're watching everyone. They may seem to be drinking, but they're never drunk. They're never really taking real sips, or it's not real alcohol. They're always sober-minded and on alert. It's a form of security for the celebrity that they get into any trouble, anyone that overdoses on anything or anything happens, these fixers just seem to come out of nowhere, fix it. They evade the police. They make sure their star escapes the situation before it gets too real. And they figure out who they're going to pin whatever just happened here on. Hollywood fixers is a real thing. It's not just for parties. It's for anything that these stars get into, any type of trouble, whether legal, whether illegal, but that could tarnish their reputations. We're going to talk about the different forms, but mostly Hollywood is known for its extravagant parties, and these parties, a lot of wild things go into them. One of our next episodes that is coming up, we will break down these Hollywood parties. Don't worry, I have a video coming up for that. But today, let's focus on the fixers. They're mostly there for these type of events, and they're always on the lookout, and they are the saving grace of these celebrities. Without them, you would see a news about a celebrity every single day on the internet or on TV. We don't want to get a fixer, a Hollywood fixer, confused with a handler. Those are two different things. We will be doing a video on Hollywood handlers also in one of our coming episodes, but they're two different things. You would say a Hollywood fixer is the ultimate puppet master. They're like the magician behind the screen. What's their job? To make problems disappear. From silencing scandalous affairs to burying incriminating evidence, these masterminds work tirelessly to maintain the pristine image of their celebrity clients. Okay? So they are the ones behind the scenes. They're thugs in many ways. They have a lot of connections. They master in the art of blackmail. They master in the art of getting intel and information on people and making things appear like accidents. You know, they're just very skilled at silencing, getting rid of people, and making sure you're not remembered. So they can go and hassle newspaper journalists, reporters, anybody that tries to leak out anything in regards to their clients or even themselves. They know how to get that. And you'd be surprised that in the old age of Hollywood, a lot of these fixers had connections with the FBI, the CIA, government. Yes, even presidents and governors and people of power and stature have their fixers too. It's not just limited to celebrities. Those celebrities use it the most. But yes, famous people go beyond just celebrities. We're talking about world leaders too. And they would hire these people to hassle whoever is making life difficult for them. And it's rare that they'll get caught or serve prison sentence unless the powers that be would want them to. They'll hire other fixers to get them situated or stage something. But yes, they deal with those too. What exactly have these fixers fixed? Let's dive into some of Hollywood's juiciest scandals, just a couple. I'm just gonna briefly highlight them. So long before TMZ and social media, there was the infamous Fatty Arbuckle scandal of 1921. Hollywood fixer Joseph Schenck, a top executive at Universal Pictures, swooped in to manage the fallout when Arbuckle was accused of manslaughter. Through bribes, intimidation, and sheer cunning, Schenck managed to keep Arbuckle out of prison. Although his career never fully recovered, he made sure that, hey, get you out of prison. It's like a get out of jail free card when you have a Hollywood fixer that knows what they're doing. If you've ever watched Scandal, honey, they are the Olivia Pope.
That every reporter knows my face, and it would become a story that you're dating a professional fixer. You're a United States senator. The focus should be on you. When something big happens in the Senate today, you should be one of the first senators to make a statement of support.
What?
When something big happens in the Senate today, you should be one of the first senators to make a statement of support. It's way more than the public knows about with a 21-year-old intern, the daughter of one of your wife's best friends.
She was not that innocent in this. Believe me, let me tell you, these young girls...
40 seconds.
Exactly.
In 60 seconds, you're going to walk out to that podium, read the statement in front of you, and resign the majority leadership position.
But this could all blow over. What
You
if...
had sex. Look at me. This is over. You have no support within your party. Zero. You walk out there, read the statement I wrote for you, you get to remain a U.S. Senator. And it's happening to your family, your staff, your friends. All any of them want to hear right now is how profoundly sorry you are, how ashamed you are, and how you're going to work to regain their respect and their trust.
Ready. I have apologized personally to the young woman and her family.
Senator Davis, what's your response to the majority leader stepping down?
Should Senator Schumer resign his seat?
I would. There's 100 of us. 100 senators representing 314 million citizens of the greatest republic ever formed. I don't think it's too much to ask that 100 of us don't take advantage of the young people who come here to learn how we make laws. I don't mean to make an example of Senator Schumer, but I do think that he should resign, not just as our majority leader, but as a senator as well. Lawmakers shouldn't be lawbreakers. Thank you.
We want a red light indicating when time is up, a light and a buzzer.
Y'all think some little toy buzzer's gonna keep the truth from tumbling from these jaws? I say good luck and Godspeed.
No light, no buzzer.
Then no Melly. It's no secret that Sally and Hollis are friends. If there's no buzzer, no blinking light, she'll let him run wild, fill all the airtime.
I'm sorry, no light, no buzzer.
Then this debate is biased before it begins. We're out. I'm pulling Melly and auctioning off a 1-hour exclusive interview with her to your competition. And whichever network gives me the most favorable terms gets to air that interview live. Go head to head with your debate. So good luck explaining that to your advertisers.
Miss Pope.
How'd it go?
Just wait. Adam, why are you smiling?
Just wait. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay, Olivia, lights and buzzers.
Of my choosing.
Fine.
They are the Olivia Polk. So you would say a fixer is like a crisis management or a crisis manager. That's what you would label them. They manage crisis. They get rid of things, kind of like an Olivia Pope for political leaders. Celebrities just seem to have the same one. And I'll even go as far as to say it don't even have to just be people of political status and this and that or whatever. Because even within my community, there are very wealthy people that are like judges within the community too. They'll have prolific doctors, even college professors that had their own business, but they're retired. They're still wealthy, but they're college professors. Now they all have crisis managers where you'll find a scandal that you'll just hear a rumor that, hey, this professor slept with his student for this grade or whatever. And then it just kind of disappeared. Like, money goes very long. And so it's not necessarily that you have to be a political figure or you have to have, notoriety and all that. As long as you have money and you have a lot of assets and you can afford, that's why a lot of very powerful people within your own community, if you can think, like everybody has people within their community that's famous. They're not globally famous or world famous, but they're famous within your community and they have affluence or wealth or money, and you see their kids get into trouble and somehow it always get erased. Like their kids might have did a hit and run and the person died in it and somehow the kid suffers no consequences. These people too can get fixers, like a crisis manager, as long as you have the funds that you can afford a crisis manager. Okay, and lawyers work with crisis managers the most. It's kind of like hand in hand, if you didn't know, because they have clients they're going to need in order to win the case. Being a lawyer is shady business. By now, y'all should know that. They'll do whatever to win a case. They're there for their client. There's millions of dollars at stake. For many situations, lawyers that are doing it legally might, if you really uphold the law. But the top dog lawyers, these celebrity lawyers that seem to just get rid of everything. So long story short, you don't have to be a Jay-Z or a Beyonce to have a Hollywood fixer, or you don't have to be the president of the United States to have one. You can just be very, very wealthy and you want to get your family out of some sticky situations. Money goes a long way. In the golden age of Hollywood, Eddie Mannix earned his stripes as a notorious fixer. It's probably the most famous of them all. Known as the Bulldog, Mannix cleaned up the messes of MGM's brightest stars. And when Clark Gable, which I did a video for, got a young actress pregnant, Mannix orchestrated an elaborate cover-up, ensuring the baby was adopted in secret, and Gable's reputation remained untarnished. So he'll do that for people too that have kids. And if, back then you could not mess up at all it was very critical back then. People were a lot harder on the stars when they messed up. So they had to cover up a lot for like scandals like that, having outside babies, infidelity. When Jean Harlow, which I did a video for also, and Judy Garland, Lana Turner, I did a video for all of them, and countless other MGM actresses found themselves pregnant out of wedlock, Mannix secured secret terminations of the pregnancies for them. They covered up the visits with false names and even false ailments. The woman would get sick. They say, oh, they collapsed because of exhaustion or this and that. That'll be the same for substance use. They'll fix it with the headlines. It's always exhaustion, or they take a break because they were sick. They'll like situate it in a way until they are able to terminate the pregnancy, or if the person don't want to terminate the pregnancy, they'll hide it or put them away. They'll be on a break, a hiatus, then they give birth and then give the baby up for adoption, which is just cruel. But the studios really controlled the stars back then. And we're going to do another video on the mafia with Hollywood, how Hollywood used the mafia to rough up and scare the actors and actresses also. A lot of this was not their will. A lot of these women didn't want to terminate their pregnancies, but they were under very heavy contracts. And if they did not do as the studio said, there was consequences. Let's just say that there were consequences, and so it was just better to comply. They really didn't have social media to speak out, and even if they spoke out, like these people had full control of the media in a time where there wasn't like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Twitter, where like regular civilians or people, like, you have a voice. You know, you can say whatever. There was a lot of censorship. And now it makes sense why in today's era, it seems like they're trying so hard to censor more and more, whether on YouTube, like you gotta fix your words away. Even when I do videos, certain words you can't say. Whether it's Instagram, they'll just take your post down. TikTok's really one of those apps where you can really speak, which is why they're fighting so hard to get rid of it. But it kind of gives people, the public, a voice to speak where they can't really manipulate it. So when difficult stars refused the help of Mannix, the fixer, he had no issues with throwing them under the bus, right? If the MGM hired him and was like, hey, go fix this situation for this celebrity, and the celebrity was just like defiant about it. No, I don't want to terminate this pregnancy. I don't want to be in this fake marriage. I don't want to do this life anymore. Then, you know, those fixers would turn against the client, okay? After closeted actor Niles Astor refused to keep up his sham marriage to vaudeville actress Vivian Duncan any longer, so he was married to Vivian Duncan. It was a fake marriage because if the public knew he was gay, his stock would go down and the studios would lose money. He didn't want to live a lie anymore. So they hired fixer Strickling, who greenlit a 1933 article in Screenland magazine that questioned why Astor did not live with his wife and child, and heavily implied the problem was not dalliances with other women, that it was in fact with men. So Astor was fired soon afterwards, and his career never fully recovered from the smear campaign. So they do hire fixers to have smear campaigns. That is a thing, and they're very strong with it. Very strong. We're going to see how in today, modern times, they use that. Well, once you see a celebrity that kind of, whether they speak out a little bit, they, you know, whatever, they'll get a fixer to really go out there and you'll see every news headline about them. All of a sudden, they're getting arrested for DUIs. All of a sudden, old tweets, old stuff, like, it was kind of like their version of cancel culture in old Hollywood, only they would use newspaper articles and news and articles, magazines, to kind of slander them and put it out there like, okay, we're going to expose you're gay since you don't want to stay married to this woman, and then we're going to see what you do now, and then fire you, take your job from you. And what could the actors do? Nothing. So it's either you comply or you had to take the consequences of losing everything. And then now once you lose everything, you can't even go get a regular job because you were super famous. It's like if Beyonce lost everything today because they decided, whatever studio or music execs decide, hey, we want to smear Beyonce and take everything from her. She's getting too big-headed, or she don't want to comply with whatever agenda or whatever thing we want her to comply with. Take everything from her. Could you honestly see Beyonce? And imagine overnight they can take all your money. I know not everybody's the biggest fan of Kanye, but look how he was a billionaire 1 minute, a couple hours later he was not a billionaire. They literally could take all your assets from you overnight. They control everything. So some people are like, well, Beyonce has made enough to, even if they took everything from her, she still would be rich. No, you'd get lawsuits thrown at you from left to right. The taxes, a lot of people, celebrities that choose to speak out, all of a sudden have tax evasion issues, and they're having all these things coming at them in the left field, right? So they make sure they rip you of your sources, your financial sources. Then it's like, Can you imagine Beyonce going to get a regular job as Beyonce? She cannot. What she would have to rely on would be her peers to kind of help her out, or fans that still are diehard supporters, still making purchases with things that are directly tied to her name and assets to keep her going. But this is what they do to you. They put you up so high that once they take everything from you, you know you can't go back down. You can't go back down. Like, you can't just walk the streets without security anymore. You can't just go get a regular job. You have already reached the highest of heights. Like, you can't go back to normal. So you're forced to comply. And this is why a lot of these celebrities go to substances. They take their own lives. They're always depressed. They end up in weird rituals and things like that they don't want to be in. Oh, guys, I have some really great videos lined up for you guys, but it gets really, really dark. And this is just the beginning of it, right? Mannix also intervened in the turbulent life of Judy Garland, whose struggles with addiction threatened her career. While not all fixes had happy endings, Mannix's influence ensured that many of MGM's dirty secrets stayed buried. So there was some good, I guess you'd say, with the fixers too, like someone like Judy Garland, if she was getting, caught being very under the influence, acting irrationally or doing something, they'd cover it up so that they wouldn't expose the person, in their worst moment. They'll cover up some of these celebrities' worst moments. In a way, I'd say, okay, that would be what's the good part for the celebrity if they were in some situation or maybe some scandal they didn't want out there with them for whatever reason. They really would cover it like in the protective sense, but in the same sense, the studios would be the ones pumping the substances to the artists or the actors so that they are easier to control. So it was like a double-edged sword. We pump you the substances, get you to be able to comply, to be more compliant. But then once you start to speak out, we protect you once you start to act out, only to get you to a point to resupply. And some celebrities never fully recover. Like, we look at someone like Britney Spears, like, if we're just honest with it, one day I'll, work on a video for that. But some of them, you can tell they never fully recover. Their brains never fully recover in their speech, the way they are. And, I've had members of my family that had strokes, accidents and stuff that mentally impaired them from medications that they were on during like their comas and stuff like that. So I know what some of these substances can do to your brain. It really, messes everything up there. It just does a number. And even though they're better now, the recovery process can take years, if not ever. Like, there's permanent damage done. And for a lot of these celebrities, some of these substances are permanent damage, And Jamie Foxx was talking about some medication he took, not medication, but some substance he took that really messed him up. And he was getting flashbacks of it. Like, it was really intense.
I know Kanye don't come from a bad place. Right. And when he talked about the drugs, the mental drugs, I've had an episode of that. Really? So when he was talking about, I went in for 2 pills and the 7 pills, that's real. My little situation, I thought everybody here renamed everything in the world. Like, really? This was a donkey, this was Nicaragua. I mean, I'm like, what the I'm going, doing the wrong shit at the club, whatever it was.
When we sat down with funny man Jamie Foxx, he surprisingly revealed his own experience with a serious mental episode similar to his friend Kanye West.
And when that is happening, I was lucky enough to have people say, yo, you can't go out right now because you talking crazy. That's scary. But here was the thing. Like, look at the difference in the interviews with TMZ and Charlamagne. Charlamagne recognized my man was in a place. Yeah. So Charlamagne's interview is different.
Yeah, they have things like that that really just mess you up for life. And it's just crazy. Fast forward to today, and the role of the Hollywood fixer is far from extinct. They've simply evolved. Enter Michael Citrick, the go-to crisis manager for the stars of today. And he's known for his work with stars like Paris Hilton, Chris Brown. Citrick specializes in media manipulation, like turning scandals into mere tabloid fodder, right? And he was attached to, like, we can't say the name, but, the one that was on the island, Juanita Express, Epstein. You know, YouTube, you have to be careful, but there's articles of that attached. So there are modern crisis managers that are pretty popular. It's like an open secret that that's what they do and stuff like that. So they still exist today. But one of the most publicized sagas is the fall of Harvey W. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And while W's predatory behavior eventually came to light, for decades, fixers like Lisa Bloom worked behind the scenes to allegedly discredit accusers and suppress stories, showcasing the dark side of damage control, and she'll eventually stop representing him. But a lot of fixers are lawyers. Like I told, they like one and the same. They work hand in hand. Lawyers work with crisis managers work with lawyers, and oftentimes they're the same people, and they're there to present the best image of their client to win a case. So it's kind of like the burden that you have to take. But Lisa Bloom did like walk away from the whole Harvey W thing when it got too hot. And this is why I love social media. I love people being able to have platforms, because it makes it a lot more difficult for these fixers now that they no longer have the same control or power that they used to have, because there's people speaking out, exposures, documentaries, journalists, like even Netflix, say what you want. I love that Netflix, one thing I love about Netflix, they're always dropping some documentary and not afraid to be canceled with it, right? A lot of these documentaries, they're not afraid to spill tea on it. I'd be surprised, like Netflix is such a big platform. No one has shut you down yet, but it's crazy, some of the documentaries that are available on there. But it's just making it harder, you know, for like Harvey W., people like him, and, you know, Epstein and stuff like that. In the digital age, fixers also operate as social media gurus, okay? They scrub unfavorable content, engineer positive spins, and ensure that the public only sees what their clients want them to see. So they've gotten smart now with technology. Like bots are really like companies that hire, fixers will hire companies basically to get bots that comment nothing but positive thing or come fight with you or the same narrative. A lot of you guys are not fighting with real humans in comment sections. Some of them come and incite racial thing. Like if you're under a post and then you see the most outlandish comments calling people the N-word or something, some white guy, or you see some black guy commenting, oh, white women are better, F black girls, they know that's going to incite some kind of anger in whoever sees it, whether you're white or black. You see a comment like that, it's polarizing, no matter on what section, if you're a sane human.
One of the best ways to drain people's energy nowadays is via the internet. These are all different accounts that I have set up. The energy you get this way isn't quite as pure, but if you do enough of it, it'll fill you up. This woman is a astrophysicist. Actually, this is not how space works. Read a book. Now I just wait for the comments to come in. Shanghai sucked. Where was the Chinatown? When they call you a dumbass, you know you've got them. They called me a dumbass. Women are getting too tall. Childhood obesity, LMFO. Yeah. You can drain their energy via social media without having to even be near them. That is racist. You're correct. It is. There's some kind of human nerd who is telling people to ignore me. I mean, he's getting my accounts suspended left and right. This will not stand. Oh, they hate me.
It's surprisingly simple to get total strangers completely furious with you.
They should get a life.
But there's bots that do that under certain posts because they do have a narrative. You know, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that because people say that, but I mean, a lot of things that we thought were conspiracies, there's evidence now that it is true. I think the era or age of labeling people conspiracy theories is out of here. It's out of here. This is what it is. But literally, I would look and you click on these people pages, they're following like 6,000 people and nobody's following them, or one person or a couple, whoever's following them, you click to see who's following them and it's other bots that's following them. They have 0 posts, or the post they have relates to nothing. It's like a whole bunch of weird stuff that they're posting, or their pages are usually private, whether on Instagram or Twitter especially has nothing but bots. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Elon Musk bought Twitter. They're all one and the same people, and it's one of those tools. Twitter is one of those tools they use for cancel culture. It's one huge propaganda machine, I will say that, because even in stan culture, you'll see a lot of bots repeat the same thing. Like if you go to the side of Stan Twitter. Like, the stuff is just all so messy. If they want someone canceled, if they want a narrative out there, if they want this, just bots, even with the likes, buying likes, etc. And an app like TikTok, I'm not advocating TikTok. I know there's going to be people that's upset with that. But they don't have bots like that. Like, you can go to a comment and actually see regular people commenting, right? That's why they're mad. But there's no app now, even whether it's Instagram, Facebook, all of them, they're all use bots. And they use them for specific agendas, for specific purposes, whether it's to put corn, remove the C and put a P in it on your timeline on certain apps or whatever and stuff, just to do whatever they want to do in that concept. I know I'm going in a whole other place, but digitally, they control the narrative so much now with social media, writing fake articles and paying off, influencers even to do certain videos away or speak about people in a certain light. Like, you just can never be you always got to be cautious of what you see. And if you see like a trending topic, for instance, see how quickly trends happen online. Like, for instance, if you go into the commentary space and everyone just starts to, out of nowhere, start making the same video and the same talking point commentary, or the same person out of nowhere. It's not like the person did something, but it's like, damn, I'm seeing this person a lot. Several other influencers or several other creators just seem to all at once start to talk about this person, whether in a negative light or a positive light, whether it's a singer that's a plant. If they have a plant, they want to push this person. You're seeing all these bigger creators just out of nowhere start to talk about that part. Every little thing, like, you could care less about, oh, they brushed their teeth today. Like, yay, they're putting them in your face. It's all bought. It's all bought and paid for, guys. And Hollywood is just really smoke and mirrors, fake, but not just Hollywood. The world, period, is a stage. It literally is. And everything is really fake. That's the only way I could put it. You really can't trust anything. And you're gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist if you talk like that. But the more you dig into Hollywood, the more we get into this saga, these coming episodes that I'm going to do, you guys will see that. So yes, the Hollywood fixers do still exist. And this is just a little taste of the dark world of Hollywood. I will be doing more in-depth videos. I just wanted to do a cute little introductory video. Comment below if you like these style of videos too, because I know I do the biographies, but I want to throw a couple little things in there also that is open you guys' eyes a little bit more to look at things a little bit closer in the world of entertainment, so that we're just not brainwashed out here, right? Comment below if you like this style and what other topics you'd like me to add for this for these segments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. If you like the music you're listening to, the link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one.